Welcome to Firewood, fella. So last weekend I got a call from my friend that's been giving me all this free ash, and he said that he had a couple of logs that he didn't mill because they were too cracked or crooked or whatever. When he got them on the mill, he just didn't want to mill them. So he set them off to the side and asked if I wanted them for firewood, and I said absolutely. And he's like, yeah, when you get a chance to come over here and look at this stuff, he's like, I got some big slab wood pieces here that you might be interested as well. So I said, yeah. So I came over there to take a look at what he got. He had three or four logs of ash, and then he also had a bunch of slab wood or reject boards. So stuff like this here, you know, with the being biased on both sides and it cracked here or whatever. So he tossed those off to the side for me. So we're going to split these down as well and turn them into firewood. But I was working on this and I got a phone call. And someone actually wants some wood. And I was thinking, well, instead of me stacking all this stuff is dry as a bone already. It's 12, 13%. And this stuff got milled last weekend. And I checked a couple pieces that I split already. And even in the inside here, 12, 13%. I'm guessing these logs are probably going to be, you know, under 20% because of how far cracked they are into the middle here. So I got to thinking, instead of splitting it and filling a rack and taking another rack of wood out of here, I'm going to split this ash right into my truck bed and turn around and sell it to the guy that I'm going to go deliver to this afternoon. And he wants mixed hardwood. Well, right over here is maple that's been sitting since May of last year that I cut down from my parents' tree in the front yard. And you're thinking, no, it's in log form, it ain't going to be dry. I'll show you these logs. They're dry as a bone. So here's the pile of maple that have been sitting here. And you know, some of these bigger logs here like this might not be dry, but I mean, it's cracking all the way into the center here. But stuff like this here, I mean, that's dry. You know, you got some smaller logs like this, same thing, cracked right to the center, bark peeling off of it. Yeah. Even stuff like this here, you know, cracked all the way through. So I didn't dress the cut today, but I'm just going to use the Husqvarna T540, cut some 16-inch rounds, throw them onto the splitter here, split them up. In the truck bed they're going to go. We're going to make a face cord real fast. We'll be able to cut, split, and throw it in the truck bed and sell it all in one day. The most efficient way you can do firewood. It's not sitting in a rack. It's not drying out. This doesn't happen very often, but I love it when it does. So let's get to work. You just see me cut up all that maple, and I split this one around right here. So this side is the side that was cracked all the way down to the center, and this is the side that I just split open. So the side that was cracked all the way through to the center was 13.5. The side I just split open, %20. So all this stuff is ready to go and burn because it's been sitting in log form for about over a year now. That's why some of these are cracked the way they are. They've been sitting out here in the open, and you can just tell by the end grain here that's dry as a bone. So this worked out really perfect. We're gonna split up all this maple and just fill up the truck bed and get a face cord out for delivery today. Let's get splitting again. There it is, an unmeasured face cord, which I know this is stacked in here is at least a face cord. And then there was some oddball sizes in that trailer. So I just gave them a bunch of bonus pieces, as I call it, some chunks, just to try and clean up the trailer a little bit more. But we still got some oddball pieces in here that I'll just throw on top of some racks or throw into an IBC tote. But made some pretty good progress in the trailer here. A couple big pieces here that I know aren't dry, so I didn't split those up for that reason. Another face cord added for the year of sales. and didn't even have to take anything out of the rack. I like it when things come together like this. It just so happened I was out here working today, so turned out pretty great. Let's go deliver this wood and make some money, and I'll maybe take you along if I can. Otherwise, Firewood fella, logging off.